What's going on, you guys? Kenny here, also known as Fan85. Welcome to another vlog. This one may run a little long. I'll warn you. I don't know what's going to come up in here, but essentially what we're looking at is my 2020 year in review. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. I don't know what that was. But, so it's obviously been a very hectic year. A lot of crazy shit going on, a lot of stuff happening. Obviously, COVID being the global thing that it is. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff changing, especially for me personally. It's been a year of small levels of bad and good, medium levels of bad and good, and epic levels of bad and good. Weirdest freaking thing. It's a banner year in a lot of regard for me. But let's go ahead and touch on the bad, and then near the end here, we'll go and touch on the good and end on that note. So 2020 started out fairly decent. Obviously, I had my place. We were streaming. Everything was going. Still had a decent job. Working with my family as a facility manager, and had a decent 2-bedroom apartment, a decent price, connection, no washer and dryer, no dishwasher, but still a really good apartment. And I even had a guest bedroom set up. It's the first time in my life that I've ever had my own place with my own guest bedroom. It's kind of a big deal. When I first moved into this place, I'll be honest, I had a little bit of a discussion with any potential spirits in the place because I am a little bit of a believer in that, in the paranormal. I believe that no matter how you look at it religiously or based on some unknown scientific basis, that there are ancestors, whatnot, that do reside on some plane of existence that may or may not watch over us, that we may or may not encounter or upset or anything to that regard. Which is funny because I'm not a religious person, but I am spiritual in that regard. And I didn't have any problems on that part. Most of the stuff in that apartment was all in the physical world. Specifically, my connection. As you may or may not recall, I made several videos talking about streaming right around the middle of the year, right around the end of my lease. And it was all an 8-month struggle. An 8-month struggle, starting in January. When I turned 35, I turned 35 here in 2020. I'm 15 years away from being 50 years old, 5 years away from being 40 years old. It's about a mid-mark, to be honest. It really is. Not as a lifespan, but mid-30s. I'm getting older. You know, I'm not old, but I'm getting older, and it's a hell of a thing. I'm fixing to be 36 as of this recording. I'm going to be 36 on January 27th, and then I'll be 4 years away from being 40 years old. What have I done in those 35 years? What has happened in 2020 on my 35th year on this planet? Well, obviously there were the connection issues in the apartment. This was the most frustrating part, aside from the COVID shit going on. That was the constant struggle of my life. Now, very first world struggle, obviously. But I still had a roof over my head, still had food, still had water, still had a bed to sleep in, still had a job. That's a lot more than a lot of people can say, especially right now. Especially right now. I am lucky to have this place right now. I am lucky to have a roof. I am lucky to have food. I am lucky to have a job. I'm lucky to have some sort of income. I still have trouble. I'm struggling a little bit, but it could be far, far worse. But being a streamer and being as my lifestyle demands, especially my side gig of streaming and the revenue that comes from it, obviously a part of my life is very dependent on a stable internet connection. And when you have that sort of lifestyle, it becomes a part of who you are, it can be very, very frustrating to have that struggle. So, my time spent in that apartment was not without well, struggle, that being the key word. Trying to keep in contact with you guys with streaming and doing that whole thing and playing online, even the World of Warcraft, as you guys know, is a major part of my life. Especially being a guild master, especially nowadays. And it was a total struggle. But with that, it was a huge learning experience as well. It helped me learn, well, a few things. I'll try to touch on them here because this obviously isn't scripted. But the biggest thing I think I learned from that was the ability to fight back against a corporation. I know this may not make sense, but I've always been the kind of guy I've been very passive, sometimes even passive aggressive. But over the last few years, right around 2019, 2020, I started becoming more firm, more, you know, this is what I need, this is what I need now, kind of thing. And I got what I could out of Suddenlink. I dragged them on social media. I got all this and that, and I got multiple credits on my bill, which I don't think a lot of people would be able to pull off. But the other side of it was my landlord, because my landlord, or the management company, was obviously a big part of the struggle because they refused to have the wiring fixed because they didn't see the need. They didn't think it was on them. They kept throwing it back to Suddenlink. The apartment was a 2-drop apartment. There was a first floor, second floor. The wiring for the cable came down through the second floor to the first floor. So they wouldn't pay to have all that, change done, which honestly it really wasn't that hard the way everything was set up. They just need to go in, modify a wall a little bit, pull some wiring out, replace it, and update it. Well, obviously, at the end of my lease, this was a major part of why I was leaving. I made note of it. I left a Google review, did everything. I warned anybody that had a digital lifestyle that was on the internet that if you are going to live here, be aware they are not updating, especially during COVID, especially during a pandemic when half the workforce here in the US easily is going to have to work from home. If your job is dependent on an internet connection, to quote the review, do not live here. So there's that. Now, what I learned as I was turning in my final paperwork for the lease, and I'm still back and forth about, and I'll tell you why. They have, me and a few others, tenants, made this complaint. It went straight up after 8 or 9 months of trouble. Well, come to find out a few weeks ago, this is about a month and a half after I've left this place, and I'm now in this place, obviously. But the management company is finally upgrading their wiring in the apartments. At first, this was a little annoying and kind of, I don't know, a little angering, because they finally learned their lesson after I left. But what it does mean for somebody else is that for somebody that has revenue dependent on the internet, they'll be good to go because of the struggles that others like me went through and because of what was fought for and what was back and forth for so long. This property company finally got the message. So that's a major silver lining. Those that came before paved the way for those to come. And that's a history, that's a lesson in history. It's a rule in history. It is a foundation of history. Those that came before us paved the way for those of us that were to come. So it's just really cool. It's the way I look at things, and it's really kind of awesome. So there's that. And then there was the guild. When it comes to World of Warcraft, this was the banner year for Revenants, which is the name of the guild on Hellscream US in World of Warcraft. I worked my tail off, and still do, to build this guild up, to get it going again. The guild has been around since Lich King, give or take 9-10 years or so. Probably going on 11 years. It was founded about 11 years ago. And actually it was founded in 2009. The golden age before today, before 2020, was Lich King. We were the third guild on Hellscream, or not on Hellscream, on Ravencrest, to down the Lich King Alliance side. I had some really good friends. Over the years, a couple of those friends passed away. Rest in peace to cancer, and one to a car accident. I'll never forget these folks. In fact, I've made a memorial for them in the guild Discord. At the time of the founding, we maybe at our highest point 125 members. Well, I'm very happy to report today, as of this recording, that there's now over 350, actually close to 380. That's a lot of characters. Alts, alternate characters, main characters. I think we clock in at about 130 different players that are off and on. This was from me personally recruiting. This was from other members bringing their friends in, bringing their alts in. We've had people transfer from realms. They brought all their characters over for the guild. We had people change from Horde to Alliance for the guild because of what is being built. We've seen our share of drama, and we will in the future. But Revenants is thriving. And it's really awesome to see that. This guild, in a lot of ways, and a lot of people may not understand it, but if you're a gamer, you probably do. This guild was a long-term investment that I made. I wanted to see it grow. I love building communities. I love to see people find some sort of home, whether it's digital or whatever it may be. People are finding a home in Revenants, much like people find a home here on the YouTube channel with the streams and the community. Now, with that said, I unfortunately the last week or so have not been able to get on as much as I'd like to. Rage is starting, but overall it's been a banner year for 2020. Unfortunately, in another regard, it's also been a banner year for my family. Because 2020 has been a rough year for my family. On all sides of my family, immediate family, especially. My father ended up having double or triple bypass surgery a few months ago. He had a heart attack. Most of his heart was, for lack of a better way to put it, almost unusable. He had to have open heart surgery. And it was a very scary time for me. Now, honestly, my dad and I have been off and on over the years. We've had a rocky relationship as father and son, but there's always been that core father and son. I haven't disowned him. He hasn't disowned me. We've disagreed on a few things, but we've always been there, because we're a lot alike in a lot of ways. But I've also learned a lot from him, both the bad decisions he made and the good ones. I get some stubbornness from him. I get my hairline from him. But my father is my father. He's my biological father. And it scared the hell out of me when he had his heart attack, when he had to go in for open heart surgery. I dropped everything. I left work. I was late on my rent because I had to drive out to go see him. I had to use finances from my rent to go see him. But it was worth it. I spent a few days there. The surgery went well, and he is still kicking and going. He's obviously, a little feeble physically, but he's a warrior. He's a badass, and I'm thankful that he's still alive to celebrate a new year with me. Knock on wood. Because 2020 is a year where anything can happen. Anything and everything has happened. The other part that has really hit my family has happened recently, but it's built up over the last 5 to 6 months. And that's been my sister. My sister is ex-military. My sister is my full-blood little sister, a year younger than I am. She came back from Afghanistan with major PTSD, along with PTSD from childhood abuse. which I was a part of. I think this thing just froze up. Hold on a minute. See, this is 2020. Sorry, yeah, hold on. There we go. Okay. Hopefully this thing's going now. So my sister had all this going on. A lot of pressure. 9-year-old niece, mother, alcoholism. But it all came, this was over the past 4 or 5 months. She committed some crimes, had some warrants against her. Been through a lot. And there was hope. But a few days ago, I posted a video talking about how I had to cut somebody out of my life. And that somebody was my sister. She had been posting all over her Facebook about how she was running from the law. She was running from warrants. She stole my car. She wrecked my car in a run, in a police chase. She was running from the cops pursuing, or going full OJ, as it were. She's okay. She is now serving time. And a lot of people think it's harsh. I cut her out of my life, but there's been other things that have happened. My family has been used, manipulated, and as much as it pains me, we've done everything we can. And it's not easy as an older brother. I've had more than a couple of sleepless nights last week because of everything that's happened. I shared pictures of my car in the Discord if you guys want to look, see what happened. The bumper's gone. There's dents all over the place. The car shop thinks the suspension is damaged. She tried to make the car look like a graduation gift by writing all over it. She was trying to blend in. She even changed the license plates on my car. They're still assessing the car, and if it is able to be repaired, it won't be available or ready until about mid-January because of the extensive damage done to it. But that's a side point compared to my sister. And having to block her from both Facebook and block her phone number, among other things. That is not easy for me to admit that at all. But unfortunately, it had to be done. I couldn't. I had to get away from the toxicity. I did everything I could as an older brother. I protected her growing up. We were buddy until she discovered boys in her teenage years. I got protective even at that point. I used to cover for her when she snuck in late at night. Just because she was out living her life. But with everything, she made some really bad decisions, and those decisions got worse and worse. And unfortunately, everything that had been given to her, everything that had been tried, she'd been given financial opportunities. My parents bailed her out. They put their names on a bail bond. That there was even at one point to where they might not have been able to get paid, and they would have been in legal trouble because of that. My folks aren't rich. They're not wealthy. They have to work for every damn thing they get. And even then, they're getting older. They're getting up there in age, and there's going to come a day when they're not around, and it's just going to be me looking after my sister. And I'm hoping, as of this recording, I'm hoping 10, 15 years from now, if my channel's still going, of course, if I'm still kicking, which I plan on it, unless something drastic happens, my sister can hold her head up and said, I made mistakes. I made fucked up mistakes. but I'm better for it. I hope that's the case. I really do. But unfortunately, at this point, history says otherwise. She hasn't learned. She hasn't, well, done the best things with her life, fortunately. But anyway, that's aside. So that was, you know, that was some of the rough things that hit my family this year, and they hit me as well, obviously, as a son, as a brother. Um, and the one of the heaviest parts is concerning my sister, what it did to my mom, because my mom did what she could to help her, even against my advice, even against my father's advice. My mom believed in her, and that was thrown right back in mom's face. It was killing my mother, what was going on. But with that said, one thing I do get from my mom is a very strong heart, a very awesome soul, very caring. And my mother's a badass. Some of you even know her. She's popped into the stream from time to time. Some of you guys play Pokemon Go with her. And that means a lot. I can never thank you guys enough for being her friend in Pokemon Go. Because Pokemon Go has been a lifeline for her. It gets her out of the house. It helps her do something that she wants to do, that she's interested in, that she can stay focused on. There are times it's a little questionable where she's, playing during times when she really shouldn't be, but that's gaming, you know, and she really enjoys it. So I can never thank you guys enough. For those that are friends with her, big shout out to Witch, to Riolu, to Bulldog, to everybody else. If I forget you, I'm really sorry, but thank y'all for that. So moving on, some of the awesome things about 2020, right? Well, 2020 officially in my personal life was a banner year for me in other ways as well, especially as a man. Um, Look, I'll be straight up honest. I've posted about it in several videos and several vlogs, but over the last couple of years since my divorce was tragic for me. It was bittersweet in a lot of ways. We never had kids. That's the bittersweet. One of the most bittersweet parts of it. Um, Not for lack of trying, but it just didn't work out. Um, but before I got married, I had always been this kind of, I had always been a monogamous kind of guy, and I still am. But that guy's hibernating. That guy that can dedicate himself fully to a woman, undyingly loyal, he's hibernating. But the other guy, the current guy you're watching on camera right now, that's become a bit of a, as one guilty put it, a rico suave, as it were. um, I'll just say this. My dating life, far, far better than anything I could have ever dreamed of in my 20s. My mid 30s have been a fantastic dating time for me. It's had its pitfalls, emotionally, but physically, I've done pretty well. Just saying. And connections wise as well. Not just the physical stuff, but the emotional, the conversations, the moments. It's been fantastic. It has been phenomenal, even. Obviously, with that comes drama. Lord knows I've had my share of drama. Um, I've met my share of crazy chicks. I'll say that much. But with that said, I've also made some great friends along the way too, and they know who they are. I don't have to mention names. I won't mention any details, but they know who they are. They've been there for support. They've been there for everything else, and I can never thank them enough. Companionship has been fantastic. I have felt more fulfilled at this point in my life than I have at other points in my life, in my adult life. And I still have years to go. That's the exciting part. Will I ever marry again? I don't know. Is that what I'm looking for right now? No. I was peeking at that road a couple of times throughout this year. My heart was getting ready to go back to that, but then it fell out. Very disappointing, but it is what it is. Obviously, like I said, that guy's hibernating. He's not ready to wake up yet. There may be some lost opportunities on that part. Different directions my life could have went. But as of right now, I am fairly fulfilled. I'm a fairly happy fellow, as it were. Um, and it's fantastic. And like I said, Kenny in his 20s never would have dreamed of being where I'm at now. I was such an introvert. But what helped that? How did I get to where I am here in 2020? Honestly, streaming and Tinder. Um, that may not make any sense, but streaming and YouTube, and you guys have some of you veterans in the veteran viewers in the audience will know what I'm talking about. But I've mentioned it. I've had past chats with Phoenix Feather on his streams. I've had past chats with Lady DeWinter, with Bulldog, with other people. How streaming and YouTube, just sitting in front of a camera, has helped somebody become introvert to more extrovert. I'm now kind of a hybrid. I'm not one, I'm not the other. I have my moments where I prefer to be one way or another, but that's beside the point. But it's helped me realize things about myself. You're able to measure yourself a little bit, how you talk, how you present yourself, how you can keep your voice in certain levels and entertain people, as it were, as entertaining as I can try to be anyway. And it does help you build a little bit of an ego, which is a good thing. Not too much, though, which I have been known to get a little egotistical at times, not going to lie. But, especially in dating, my God, especially in dating. Because, like I said, this is an unprecedented time of my life when it comes to dating. And it's been phenomenal. And that can lead to a little bit of a big head, just saying, giggity, first of all. But I meant this head. It can make your ego swell a little bit, but you got to keep it in check. You got to keep it in check. You can't get too cocky about anything. And I was cocky for a time. Again, giggity. But that's beside the point. But streaming and YouTube over the years has really helped me do that. Has really helped me get to where I am. And I've even had some conversations with some of you ladies in the community. Nothing's ever happened, but you guys have been straight up with me about certain things that have helped me as a guy, and I've always appreciated your advice as a friend, as a comrade, as a fellow streamer, so on and so forth. And you guys have even sought my advice as a guy, and that's always appreciated. You know who you are. I'm not going to name any names, but you know who you are. So that's been another banner year for me when it comes to dating, when it comes to my love life, when it comes to connecting with people, making new friends, so on and so forth, and growing as a man. It's meant the world. And you guys helped me get there. So thank you for that. Obviously with 2020 was COVID. COVID, knock on wood, COVID was a big deal. But thankfully, I haven't lost anybody personally to it. I had a couple of friends struggle with it. Luckily, they survived. But I did have a friend lose their father over it. That did strike a little bit home because they were a friend. Their father was older. They were in the older age group. But as somebody that's immunocompromised, that has an immune disorder that I have to get treatment for and lowers my immune system, it scared the hell out of me when all this was first introduced. I've still to this day, well, ever since I've started the Taltz treatment, I've been using hand sanitizer like crazy. Probably more than I should. I wear my mask at work. I've sometimes caught myself wearing it in the car, I'm not going to lie. But as of this recording, the universe has seen fit to not affect that on me and really in any personal way um, when it comes to immediate stuff. But again, people have lost their lives to COVID. It's a very big deal. A lot of people made it political. Um, a lot of people made it to where it wouldn't believe it. And there were times when I got into some online interactions, especially for you guys who follow me on Twitter. You guys know I can get political on Twitter. They, they talk about it as a hoax. It's not real. It's not all this and that. And I got to go off on people. But with that said, I count myself lucky. I count myself very lucky. So it's awesome. Now, another small note about 2020. Very first year of my life that I've had a place like this. The downside, one rule about life as you get older is you notice life is about give and take, right? Remember I mentioned earlier how I lead a digital lifestyle? An internet connection is a primary part of my lifestyle, especially doing this stuff. Well, this place is fantastic. It's all bills paid. It's a month-to-month setup. Washer and dryer, dishwasher, pretty much everything I've wanted in a home. It's a large one-bedroom. I don't have my own guest bedroom anymore, but it's pretty much all I need. The kicker? The internet connection. Obviously, I'm on mobile data. I'll be uploading this using my folks' Wi-Fi, though, because this is going to be a big video. It's already half an hour long, but hey, it's a year in review, and you cannot talk about 2020 in no 10 to 15 minute video. I don't care who you are, and I don't edit. So this is all raw video, so it is what it is. But if you made it this far, thanks for watching this far. But again, I'm lucky to have a roof over my head. And I'm lucky to be able to do my own laundry. I don't have to go to a laundromat. I have a dishwasher, which helps with my arthritis because I have psoriatic arthritis. I'm thankful. I'm very, very thankful for that. I'm thankful to still have my job. Recently, it was a job scare when my car was stolen. When that person also stole money from work, literally broke into the office, pried everything open for an hour and a half. I had to watch it on video. That hurt like hell to see my little sister doing all this. But my boss came back and said that our job is safe. My folks had to take out a bank loan to pay everything back. Because like I said, we work this property as a family. But our job is safe. We're obviously paying for it in certain ways because of the choice of somebody, but my job is safe. So I'm very lucky in that regard. Still got a roof over my head, still got a job. I don't have a car right now, but it could have been worse. It could be a lot worse. A lot worse. So 2021 is looking to be pretty decent. PS5, which you guys are helping me get, is going to be happening. Cyberpunk on PC at some point. Hopefully it'll be another banner year for Revenants, another banner year for streaming. And who else knows what's to come? I don't know what's going to happen. But that's kind of part of the mystery. That is the mystery. That's the excitement of not knowing what's going to happen. 2020's been a hell of a year for me personally and for friends and family. But one way to cap off this whole year, Wonder Woman 1984, Christmas Day with my parents. Now, regrettably, my sister won't be there, but that's due to her own decisions. But aside from that, I've already bought the tickets. I've already bought out 2 or 3 seats beside us so that it's just me and my folks, center of the theater, having the theater experience that we haven't had in a long time, watching Wonder Woman 1984. And it's going to be epic. The movie could suck. But I'm capping off a great holiday season, a tragic holiday season in ways, with my folks in a movie theater watching one of the DC Trinity heroes kick ass on screen. And it's with my family, with the people that raised me and turned me into who I am. With my father, Phil, who is technically my stepfather, but I call him my father because he's a pillar in my life, much like my mother. Two people that are pillars in my life, responsible for the man you see before you. And that's fantastic to be able to do that. So that's how my 2020 is going to cap off. There might be some stuff to happen after this recording, because I'm recording this on December 20th, 19th. I'm not even sure what time it is right now. It could be past midnight. But I can't thank you guys enough for a fantastic year. I know, 35-minute video, I'm running along, but damn it, it's worth it. And if you happen to make it this far, I applaud you, because you put up with me for this long. But some of you guys have put up with me for years, and I can never thank you enough for that. I hope you guys had a good year. I hope this year, while it was cruel to some, was good to you in a lot of ways. I can't promise a New Year's stream. I've already given out all my gifts. I can't afford anything else financially because we're setting back for the PS5. I'm also going to have to set back, potentially depending on the car situation, for some other stuff. But I wish you guys the best always. And I hope this video finds you well. And hopefully your 2021 is a total Godspeed. Because you deserve it. I deserve it. We all deserve a good year after this year. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Stay safe, stay sane. Remember, you are awesome. Never let the world tell you otherwise. And always be kind to your family. Always treat your family right. Don't take advantage of them. Don't manipulate them. Love them if they deserve it. And if they don't, if you're getting to a point to where you are going to be something negative for your family, step aside. Step away. Deal with your shit. And then come back to your family. Don't drag them down with you. Never do that. The right kind of family doesn't deserve that. I'll end that there. I'll see you next time. Peace.